the ones, empaths. You see, when the narcissist discards you, or you cut them off because they were too much to bear, initially they feel relief. You've probably heard me say this before. But initially they feel relief. They feel at peace. They feel free. Because they had to put up with the constant mirroring of us, right? And also the mirroring they done on us, which reflected to them how low they actually are in existence, the scum that they are. But it's a slippery slope from then onwards for them. And, you know, they make some terrible decisions with new supplies. They make some terrible, terrible decisions. And like, if we from the outside can see it's a terrible decision, then the narcissist with the way they analyze things and stuff like that, they know it's a terrible decision. And this is why I say it's a slippery slope for them, because you've got to understand that at one point in time, they looked at the new supply as their beacon of light, the new shiny toy. It's why they threw us to the trash, or it's why they were giving you so much BS that you had to cut them off. They felt like they had other options. And they very soon and quickly realize they cannot live without you. You see, the difference between us and them is, for us to exist in the world, yes, we desire our companion, we desire a soulmate, we desire our other half, we want someone to be our ride or die. It's different from the way that they want someone. They want someone to depend on. They need them as a fuel supply. They need them as a literal mechanism to keep them afloat in the world, you see, like a life support as such. They need them as a life support. They need us as a life support. And we provided that life support supply to them. We did. And they took it for granted. We may have helped them in their to do with all aspects of their life. You know, I've read in the comment section, some of you have helped them with their driving. Some of you have helped them get a place of their own. Some of you, you've assisted in numerous ways. And it's like my scenario. I assisted in numerous ways as well. Like I've mentioned, that the narcissist was in hospital at the time, and I assisted her life and kind of made her house a home. I was kind of the backbone that came along and made the family strong. And they do take it for granted. And they think that other people are just going to live up to this. They think that other people are just going to do what we've done. And it's only till after the ending, the penultimate ending of the connection between us and them, is when they realize that other people aren't just going to do what we've done. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It will take 2 seconds of your time. But the narcissist begins to go into disarray, if that's the right word. They begin to get very, very desperate. They fall into bouts of depression, realizing they can't live without you. And they do everything but tell you. That's the thing. You know, early on in the journey, if they come up to us and told us, you know, when we were still very vulnerable, right, and we were still trauma bonded, if they come up to us and said, look, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that, like us as idiots, not idiots, sorry, that's derogatory, but us being so wounded that we would have probably like took them back on. I would have anyway. I don't know about you, but I think that majority of us would have took them back. But they seem to think that they can continue to look elsewhere to find a suitable supply. So that's why them new supplies that you probably seen early on after the discard, they're possibly not even with them now. They might be. They might realize they can't get anything better, so they settle. And there's nothing worse than settling. There's nothing worse than settling at all. And just while we're on the subject of settling, we settled for them. We did. We settled for them. And that's something that I will always remain embedded in my consciousness, that I'm never going to settle again. I'm never going to settle for less than what I deserve ever again in my life. And neither are you. You're never going to settle for less than you deserve ever again in your life. But the narcissist, literally, from the moment they realize they cannot live without you, it's an embedded thought in their consciousness, right? It stays with them like a ghost. It stays with them, part of their spirit. They realize they can't live without you, and they try and find you. They try so hard and desperately try to find you in other people. They try to maneuver and mold new supplies into you, telling them things you used to do, meals you used to cook, films you used to watch, sexual things you used to do, and that's how sick it gets. I'm sorry if I've triggered any of you. But this is what they do. They try to mold the new supply into us. And you know how I know this is a fact, right? The reason why I know this is a fact is because the narcissist tried to make me do similar things to what the previous supply done to her, right? But I know that I'm cut from a different cloth, and I know that I'm well above what they deserve. And so are you. You're well above what they deserve. And you've got to think back to the early on in the journey with the narcissist. I'm talking about the early days. They tried to make us do things that the previous suppliers done. It's what they do with their supplies. But the difference is with an empath and a chosen one is when they're trying to make someone else do what an empath and a chosen one done, it's not very likely to happen. You see, our sexual energy is euphoric. We are empathetic, so we know exactly what the person desires and needs, even with unspoken words. We can feel their energy. We connect with them so deeply. They won't find that connection that they're searching for that will be so deeply connected like that we used to offer, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Because we're empaths, because we're chosen ones. And as I say, the reason why I call you chosen ones is because I say that narcissists and psychopaths and sociopaths and other toxic individuals, they're descendants of the devil, and we're descendants of God. You know, we're connected to God, they're connected to the devil. We've been chosen by God, they've been chosen by the devil. And that's why I always address empaths as chosen ones. Just to clear that up, because I used to say that early on in my videos, but maybe some people didn't understand why I say chosen ones. But the narcissist will live a nightmare in their lives, knowing they can't find someone to suffice them like how we used to suffice them. You know, and the thing that gets to them as well is they only remember the good things. You know, there were some bad things that used to happen between the two of you, right? There were some bad things that happened between me and the narcissist too. But these things become less important to the narcissist as time goes on. And as time goes on, they only remember the good things. And this is a blessing in a way, because this is what drags them down. This is what drags them down way low, right? Because they only remember the good things. And they live with this. Sometimes they will go on with numerous new supplies. You know, you've got to understand that just because they're sexual or just because they're with new supplies doesn't mean they forgot about you. Right? I know it's sick and I know it's twisted. But they, you know, they're envisioning you when they're sexual because they're making the new supply do things that you used to do to remind them of you. Because they're desperate for any remnants of you. And I made a video earlier about how your silence torments the narcissist. if you're using what I've mentioned in that video and you're an empath and you're a chosen one, then you need to know that a narcissist cannot live without you. And if you've gone silent, like I mentioned in the other video, you're really torturing them to such an extent. They're really suffering. And not a lot of people make you understand how the narcissist suffers. Remember, their low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-value. They don't think very highly of themselves deep in the core of them. You know, on the exterior, they act like they're this and that. They're God's gift, but they're not, right? So just understand that a narcissist is suffering without you. And they're trying everything in their desperate attempts to find a suitable replacement. And as long as you know your self-worth and your value, and realize that someone else can't just come along and jump in your place and take over what you used to do. I'm saying that if you know you're loving, you know you're empathetic, you know you're caring, you know you're courteous, you know you've done more and a lot, like you've done more than enough, I should say, for the narcissist, right? Then trust me, they cannot live without you. And you are the only person that God probably sent their way to give them that gift in this life. And they will have to go for the rest of their days, as long as you've door slammed, bolted and welded it shut. They'll have to go for the rest of their days not being able to get someone that equates to your level of supply. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can find the link in the description box. If you would like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. Currently I have the secondary channel, the spiritual channel. If you want to check that out, the link for that channel is also in the description box. So anyway, we'll be back with another video soon. Peace.